You know that feeling when you try to explain what you do, but it just doesn't land? People nod, they smile politely, but they don't really get you. Your work, your value, your purpose. The truth is, it's not because you're unclear. It's because you're telling people what you do instead of who you are. If you've ever felt invisible in your own story, this video is for you. I know this feeling personally. For more than 12 years, I worked in the field where success looked good on paper, but it never felt like it was mine. Millionaire club status, promotions, recognitions, and yet I was disconnected from myself, my work, and my voice. Everything changed when I learned how to tell my story with intention. Stories create identity. When you share your story with clarity, you invite people to understand you on your terms. So if this sounds interesting to you, then I want you to grab a notepad and a pen, and yes, we're going to make this video engaging and taking a few notes. If finding your personal brand value proposition means anything to you, and who you present yourself to the world as, then let's begin and finish this sentence. I want people to understand that I am someone who, simply fill in the blank at the end of the sentence, and throughout this video we'll be adding to those notes and create your very own storytelling framework. Trust me, this system is going to completely change the way that you write copy. So here's the plan of attack. Today I'm going to show you the 5-part storytelling framework we've been building inside the Outline Circle. This is the exact same structure used for ad copy, short form video scripting, brand messaging, foundational origin stories. Not theory, not word salad, not creative fluff. It's a structure that connects and converts. So here are the 5 steps. 1. Set the scene. 2. Shape the emotion. 3. Extract the meaning. 4. Reveal the conflict. 5. Show the shift. Stay with me, we're going to build yours as we go. Good storytelling is built piece by piece. You don't want to rush ahead. Let each part stand. Turn to your notepad again, write the title at the top of the page, My Story Draft. That's all for now. So we're at the first storytelling checkpoint, set the scene. Every story begins at a specific moment, not the whole journey. The moment something changed. For me, that moment was February 2025. I was 42 and I knew that everything I'd built was no longer aligned with who I was becoming. Your story begins at the moment when your identity was challenged. So here's your first checkpoint mini lesson for setting the scene. Answer these quickly and don't overthink it. When did it happen? Where were you? Who was there? What was happening around you? Good. Now fill in the sentence. It was when, and I was, age or stage. When, what changed? Shaping the emotional arc. I want you to understand that stories stay with people because of the emotion, not the information. For my story, the emotional journey was empathy to anxiety and hope. We begin where the audience stands with us. We guide them through the tension, we release them into the possibility. If they feel it, they remember it. If they remember it, they trust you. So here's your next mini lesson. The emotional arc follows 3 basic format rules. I want you to choose one for your story. You can follow this exact process for every piece of creative. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the golden goose. Curiosity to tension, then relief. Empathy to anxiety, to hope. Connection to suspense, to understanding. Now finish this sentence. I want my audience to feel fill in the blank, then fill in the blank, and finally fill in the blank. This emotional roadmap will shape how your story is delivered. Let's move on to the next checkpoint, extracting the meaning. Your story is not what happened, it's what it taught you. My takeaway? Life direction is allowed to change. Growth is allowed to happen at any age. You don't need permission to begin again. Meaning is the bridge between your experience and their life. Next, we will create the main takeaway. Finish this sentence. After hearing my story, I want people to understand that fill in the blank and know how to fill in the blank. Keep it to 1 sentence and write it down on your notepad.
Crazy.
Okay, let me pause here for a moment because I want to make sure this is landing clearly. Up to this point, what I've shared is the moment of realization. The point where the old way of operating was no longer sustainable. We've seen the tension, the internal negotiation, the quiet truth that I could no longer ignore. So before we continue, hold that moment with me. The vision of myself standing at the crossroads, aware of the change was necessary, even if the shape of that change was not yet certain. Now let's move forward. And hey, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's move on. Revealing the conflict. No story works without stakes. Externally, I was leaving a stable career. Internally, I was facing the fear of starting again. The stakes were real. If I failed, I could lose everything. If I succeeded, I could build something meaningful and lasting. Conflict is not chaos. Conflict is clarity. In the third checkpoint, we'll be learning the rule of conflict mapping. Answer these questions on paper. What stood in your way? What fear did you have to face? What did you expect to happen? And what actually happened? Then answer, why did this matter? Right, we're at the second last checkpoint titled Show the Shift. The shift is where the transformation happens, where the old identity no longer fits, where you step into who you were becoming. I went from certainty to uncertainty, from titles to purpose, from fitting into a system to building my own. The shift is where your audience sees themselves in you. Okay, the second last mini lesson is identify the shift. Complete the sentence. This story shows how I went from fill in the blank to fill in the blank. The sixth and final checkpoint is drive to action. You now have everything you need to begin telling your story. But what do you want your reader or viewer to do next? And how will you get that across in a non-salesy way? To keep it simple as a soft medium call to action. So complete the sentence. The one thing that I want them to do next is fill in the blank. Okay, so we're in the final stretch of the storytelling framework. In fact, you've just created your framework. So well done on that. Once you've done this, I want you to look at your notes and write me a simple paragraph, making sure that you use each one of the sentences in your framework that you've just created. There's no limit here, so you can make this paragraph as long or as short as you wish. I just want you to create something simple yet emotionally driven. You want body content, and don't forget to use each one of those sentences that you've just created in your notes. But here's the caveat. I'm going to share a master prompt in the description that will help you expand your paragraph to a full chapter story, a long format YouTube script, and a short format social media script. These have been optimized for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts. Using ChatGPT or a writing AI tool of your choice, I personally just love Anthropic's Claude AI, which for me just has a much nicer writing style. As though I'm working with a world-class copywriter, you know? Next, so why don't you check out the description after watching this video to grab that prompt. And let me know in the comments what you thought about this video and what you'd like to see next on this channel. And hey, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If this video helped you in any way with your scripting or ad copy, I'd really appreciate that as you help our brand new channel grow in its birth phase to something meaningful. If you're wanting guidance, reflection, support, and accountability, join us inside Thriveline Circle. It's my brand new community for people just like you. Creators, copywriters, neuromarketers, and master resale rights owners, as well as a growing group of social media managers and directors. We're all here and thriving through collaboration, and right now is the perfect opportunity. So check out the link to the community in the description before we scale, because right now it's absolutely free. And we are currently completing the storytelling challenge together. There's still time to join before our next co-working session. So we've covered a lot here today, and I want to thank you for watching along, participating with what we're doing at Thriveline. Write your story with intention. And if you manage to join us there, I'll be sharing a nice little playbook of impactful writing with all of you right on this subject. Step into the identity you are becoming, and see you on the next one. Peace.